Number 5, Immature At 6, catches number 19, Ryan Yarp. At 7, playing center field, number 1, Madison Keeper. At 8, playing second base, number 3, Emily Duplin. At 9, playing left field, number 28, Corey Romeo. So Wesley is coached by Clay Arteaser, assisted by Mallory Arteaser. Reals and please stand and prepare being safe and national anthem. Let's pray. Dear Lord, thank the line both teams for the field safely today. We ask you to keep your hand protection for all the athletes, coaches, and spectators and staff. And thank you for your Amen.
Oh, geez. Good. Get back in. Go make a place here. Push the ball in, use your legs. Nice, EJ! Yeah, play. Hey, baby, nice play, baby. Excellent.
There we go. Hey, let's get right here. It's a 3, 1, 2, 3. Yes! I'm literally like happy feet out there. I said, because if I don't.
Pitch in there for a strike. 60 degrees here today at Varsity Field. Slight breeze blowing just out to right field. We do have an interactive feed for you today's doubleheader if you get a chance. As Wingate delivers a ground ball out to shortstop Lindsey Voorhees, and she throws over to Anderson for the third out and to retire the Warriors. We'll finish one scoreless game heading to the top half of the second inning. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
Now batting Madison Chapel.
Jenkins and Matt. Me and Ava, and then
Third baseman Madison Chapel leading off the second inning for Limestone. As we mentioned, the Saints come in with a 2-4 record, and Wingate's first pitch is just off the corner. Chapel hitting 188 on the season, 16 at bats, 3 hits, and an RBI. Chapel's a senior from Lawrenceville, Georgia. She takes that for a called strike. Hails from Collins Hill High School. Wingate with the look in here in the second inning and fouled off just in front of Yarborough. If you're following the Warriors, they were scheduled to play a doubleheader tomorrow and Saturday. However, a team from up north is unable to make the trip down, so they'll just be playing Anderson University on Saturday. First game starting at noon. Second game to follow about 30 minutes after the final out of game one. Chappell stands in with a 2-2 count. She is the leadoff hitter for the Saints here in the second inning. And continues to battle. Fans, if you're listening, if you have the opportunity to visit Slido.com, we'll try to get that graphic up here soon. You can type in the participants code. We'll give it to you here shortly. Let us know where you're watching the broadcast from. If you have any comments or questions as well, Chappell sends that one straight up the middle for a leadoff single here in the second inning.
Now batting, Kaylee Long.
Designated player Kaylee Long. Don't have any stats this year on Long, so this must be her first start of the season. Roster states she's a sophomore from Boiling Spring, South Carolina. And she'll take that pitch high and away. Visit Slido.com in the participants box. Type in hashtag 2625511. Hashtag 2625511. Give us an idea where you're listening from, the hometown. If you have any questions or comments or shout outs due to the players here today. Wingate falls behind again, 2-0. Ground ball out to Johnson. A little bit of a hesitation. Couldn't get the ball out of her glove. Might have prevented the 6-4-3 double play, but we do get the lead runner. Catcher Reagan Bristol now batting for the Saints. Bristol comes in with an .077 average. She's played in 5 games, started in 3, 13 at bats on the young season. AG finds herself down 1-0. As I mentioned, the Warriors come in at 2-2. They opened up the season with a sweep of UVA Wise in an exciting walk-off fashion in game one. Traveled down to Newberry, dropped a couple of games. So they come in at 500. Perfect record here at home. Yet to pick up a win on the road. The throw from Yarborough down to second baseman Emmy Copeland, who applies the tag for the second out, or rather, second out of the inning. Pitch up in the zone. Hard hit ball right past down the left field line.
Now at the bat, Lindsay Voorhees.
Shortstop Lindsey Voorhees steps in for the Saints. Bristol on second base. We'll try to get some clarification. The ball was hit down the third base line into left field. We're not sure if, obviously at some point was called a ground rule double. We're not sure if it got caught up under the fence or what, but she is standing at second base in scoring position with 2 outs for the Saints. There's a called strike for Wingate, evens the count. There's a check swing. Wingate up and tosses over to Barnhart to retire the Saints in the top half. We'll head to the bottom half of the second inning. We're still scoreless here at Varsity Field. Baseman Emma Jo Wolf steps in for the Warriors. Emma Jo comes in hitting 143, 14 at bats, a couple of hits, and she promptly lines that one out to the second baseman, Katie Wilbur. So quick start here to the second inning. Catcher Ryan Yarborough. Ryan comes to us from USC Salkehatchie, Batesburg, Leesville resident. We're part of South Carolina. It's fouled just off the Saints dugout. Ryan has a couple of walks, runs scored so far in this young season. Been following Warrior sports this week. Picked up a couple of wins on the hardwood back on Tuesday as Erskine came to town, and both women and men picked up some victories. Count moves to 1-2 now on Ryan. Baseball will be back in action tomorrow at Dr. C. Keith Connor Field. They've moved that up to a 1 o'clock first pitch as we have some more inclement weather forecast for tomorrow through actually Sunday. So playing a doubleheader tomorrow here at the Con, and then going to travel to Coker as Yarborough swings and misses for the third strike. They'll travel to Coker on Saturday, weather permitting. So hopefully they can get all 3 games of the 3-game series in, as center fielder Madison Kiefer she's a graduate student from Columbia College. And she sends that one right back up the box into center field. So Madison picks up her 3rd hit of the year. Pushes her close to the 200 clip for the batting average. So the Warriors' bats are starting to warm up a little bit. Second baseman Emmy Copeland stands in. Emmy is hitting 250. A couple of hits, run scored, and a double on the season.
Is that a strike?
Decent crowd on hand for a 2 o'clock midweek start here. A couple of professors, religion professors in the crowd, and Brent Dongell and Mike Tapper, and some students on hand as well. There's a foul tip back in the glove of Reagan Bristol. She stays alive as fouls this one off behind first base dugout. Just like that, we're going to finish up with inning number 2. So we'll take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll be the top half of the third. Still scoreless here at Varsity Field. Fans, welcome back to Varsity Field, and just noticed a couple of personal-sized pizza that Ryan has up in the box here. Not going to kid you, right about now at 2:30, that's smelling good. Jalen Atkins in the box for the Limestone. Jalen comes in, 143 clip, 14 at-bats, couple of hits. And Andy Gray Wingate back out on the mound, or actually in the circle, I guess you can say, for softball. I do apologize in advance if I get a couple of baseball and softball terminology mixed up. AG is in the circle, not on the mound. And there's a strike there for Adkins. Shout out to Wes Pate if he's listening to the broadcast. He is the typical play-by-play for softball. He had some scheduling conflicts, couldn't make it today, but I'm assuming he'll probably be back at the next home game. And there's a ball high in the zone. That's going to put Adkins down to first base and bring up Carly Womack. Womack is anchoring down center field. Second leading hitter so far for Limestone. Hitting a 286 clip, 4 hits and 14 at bats. A couple of runs scored so far. Just like that, the sun is peeking through the clouds. So, as we mentioned, a chance of rain later on this afternoon. Not much wind to speak of, so that's good. And we're in the around 60 degrees as Addie Johnson picks it up. Fires over to first base just in time. Addie Johnson with a good glove. Strong arm over there at shortstop to record the first out. This will bring up leadoff hitter and second baseman Katie Wilbur.
Now to bat, Katie Wilbur.
Katie's 0 for 1 so far today. She leads the Saints in at-bats with 22, as you would expect the leadoff hitter to do. Katie's from Rocky Point, New York. So I would assume she is playing in much better weather today than she would be if she were back home up north. One big difference, if you've attended baseball games versus softball, a lot of chants and cheering throughout the game. This one just by Emma Jo Wolf. Addie Johnson there keeps it from going to left field and perhaps runner second base advancing, but unable to throw out the hitter. This brings up Faith Calloway, the left fielder. Faith is 0 for 1, rather. Only 3 hits today for the Limestone Saints so far. Calloway's got 4 hits on the season and RBI and 3 runs scored. She leads the Saints in runs scored with 3. And there's a fly ball out to Talissa Kennedy. And Talissa's underneath, makes the play, gets it back in quickly. So only the runner on second able to advance, so leaves a force play at second. First and third now for Limestone. First baseman Santana Anderson. Santana from Fairmont, North Carolina. And she is the Saints' leading hitter at 476. 10 hits on the season, so she's off to a hot start. She leads not only the Saints, but both teams here today and has a home run and 6 RBIs. A freshman as well, so if her hot start is any indication of the season Santana's going to have, she'll be in line for the SAC Freshman of the Year campaign. We'll have to check back on her at the end of the season, see how she's doing. AG steps back to the circle, gathers her composure, takes a deep breath. It's a 3-0 count. Leading hitter for the Saints, we'll see if they give her the green light. Here with a couple runners on and 2 outs, and she does, and sends that one out to right field, but not deep enough. And Talissa Kennedy's there to make the 3rd out and retire the Saints. We'll go to the bottom half of the 3rd inning. We are still scoreless here in Central South Carolina. Field, bottom half of the 3rd inning. Still a scoreless game. And left fielder Corey Rominger steps in. Corey's hitting .250. A couple of hits, 3 runs scored. She's tied with Autumn Barnhart for the team lead in runs scored in this very young 2023 campaign. That one just catches, rather, the lower half of the zone. I'll get it out in a minute. We'll get that Slido graphic up here momentarily for you and give you a chance to be interactive with us on the broadcast. And once it's up, you can log in. It's a free account, as that one's a pop-up to the shortstop. And Lindsey Voorhees takes care of Rominger. Addie Johnson steps into the box. You can visit that website, Slido.com. Type that participants code in. Make sure you put the hashtag. It's a free account. You don't have to sign up. There's no monthly payment or anything. Just answer that quick question there. You can remain anonymous. You can give us your name. At least do give us your hometown so we know where you're listening from. Give a shout-out to one of the players. Ask us a question. Give us a comment. And that one's hit out to the shortstop again. And Voorhees up and just throws out the speedy Johnson.
Now at bat, Talissa Kennedy.
Talissa Kennedy now steps in. As we mentioned, she's the team's leading hitter with 6 hits on the season. A freshman, really like her swing. Noticed that in the season opener early on. Keeps the bat through the zone for a long period of time. It's going to be a good hitter for us here at Southern Wesleyan, and she takes that one just in. Warriors have 1 hit off the bat of Madison Kiefer, the graduate student from Columbia College. That one's off. Coach Ardeeser has a decent mix. Has about 4 or 5 freshmen on the team and some returners in some crucial spots. And I know he's got a big class coming in with 14 commitments already. So both Clay and his wife Mallory are doing an excellent job, not only coaching and managing and skill instruction and things of that nature with the team, but continuing to get it built for the future. And as I mentioned, Kennedy's a good hitter, and line drive to center field produces her 7th hit of the season. Autumn Barnhart also hitting .500 for the Warriors, and she'll take a called strike. Autumn is from nearby Pickens, South Carolina. A couple of Blue Flame on the team this year, and her and Ella Grace Lawton. There's a fly ball out to center fielder Carly Womack, who makes the catch and ends the third. So we're moving along here pretty quickly. We'll be back, start of the 4th inning soon. Third baseman Madison Chappell steps into the box for the Saints. Madison 1 for 1 on the day for Limestone, wearing number 92. For the Saints from Gaffney, South Carolina. Limestone was a member of Conference Carolinas up until about maybe 5-6 years ago. They moved to the South Atlantic Conference. They do have football. And if you're keeping up with Conference Carolinas will be having football in a couple of years. So I believe 2025 will be the first season. So there's several teams that have football across the conference, and we're also adding a couple of schools from Georgia and Young Harris and Shorter. We're still waiting on word if Southern Wesleyan would add football. There's a line drive out to center field again, so Madison Kiefer retires Madison Chappell. Designated player Kaylee Long 0 for 1 today and was caught stealing earlier in the game. I will say this, Limestone, as Emma Jo Wolf fires across the diamond, has been constantly cheering and chanting from the first base dugout. So they are definitely into this game. As catcher Reagan Bristol comes in. Bristol has one of the Saints' 3 hits. It was a double. We believe it was a ground rule double earlier. And that pitch is down just past the catcher, off the umpire. Yarborough locates it in front of the plate. Pitch just off the plate. Appreciate those listening from Murrells Inlet, South Carolina, and also Carly Copeland, who is the proud big sister from Lamar, South Carolina, cheering on the Warriors, and her sister Emmy. We have some listeners from Oro Valley, Arizona. That one's going to drop just in front of left fielder Corey Rominger. And speaking of Corey Rominger, I believe that's going to be her family listening and watching from Oro Valley, Arizona, as that is her hometown. Prepped at Canyon del Oro High School. Shortstop Lindsey Voorhees stands in with a couple outs here in the 4th inning. As we mentioned, we have a couple of student athletes on the roster here from nearby Pickens, South Carolina. We actually have 4 that are from USC Salkehatchie. Jalen Montfort, Charity Dennis, Ryan Yarborough, and then Ella Grace Lawton, who's also from Pickens, as we mentioned. All of those are from USC Salkehatchie. A feeder school here for Southern Wesleyan this year. There's a high pop fly into right field. Talissa Kennedy is under and makes the play to end the top half of the 4th. So we'll take another quick break. We'll be back. Bottom half of the 4th inning. We are still scoreless here with Southern Wesleyan Limestone. Andy Gray hitting .500 on the season. Just a tad under that now as she's 0 for 1 today. So she comes in at 6 for 13. And there's a line drive just off the glove of the pitcher. Nice play by shortstop Lindsey Voorhees to throw out Wingate by just a step. Third baseman Emma Jo Wolf steps in. Limestone has 4 hits thus far in the game. Southern Wesleyan has 2, so it has been a pitcher's duel up to this point. Emma Jo's a senior from South Hill, Virginia. Called Parkview High School her home for a few years. And a solid third baseman for the Warriors. Three-0 count for Emma Jo here. I would assume Emma Jo has the take sign here. We'll see as she does and takes a called strike to push the count to 3-1. So Emma Jo draws a 1-out walk. Catcher Ryan Yarborough.
Down the bat, Ryan Yarborough.
Ryan 0 for 1 with a strikeout thus far in game 1. As I mentioned earlier, she's hitting just under 100, so she'll get the bat going here quick, and there's a called strike on the inner half. An early 2 o'clock start here, middle of the week game. We'd anticipate more fans arriving as classes begin to finish up. A called strike again. 0-2 now quickly on Ryan. There's a ground ball up the middle. And center fielder Carly Womack gets it back into the infield. Runners at first and second now for the Warriors.
Down the bat, Maddie Kiefer.
Graduate student and center fielder Madison Kiefer steps in. Madison has one of the 3 hits now for the Warriors. There's a pop fly, might fall just in front, and it does, of diving left fielder and center fielder. Runners couldn't advance in anticipation of it being a call by either one of the left fielders or center fielder.
Down the bat, Emmy Copeland.
But it did fall just in front of Faith Calloway and a diving Carly Womack. Now the Saints infielders converge in the circle, and catcher Reagan Bristol comes out, try to settle everyone down. 1 out here, bases loaded. And a good opportunity for second baseman Emmy Copeland. Emmy 0 for 1 with a strikeout, hitting just under 250 on the year. We anticipate Emmy getting the bat going here any game now. Great opportunity would be right now in the bottom half of the fourth inning, and she shows bunt, pulls back, and that's going to be a ball. Start the count off at 1-0. So we'll see the strategy and philosophy of head coach Clay Ardeeser. He's going to let her take a strike, let her swing away. And she'll see a strike up in the zone. We do have action down in the Limestone bullpen. I believe that's possibly number 9, Michaela Chiswick. I believe that's down there. And there's a short line drive just in front of second baseman Katie Wilbur. So hit in a difficult spot to turn 2, but she was able to cut down the lead runner and keep the game scoreless here. And now it's going to be up to left fielder Corey Rominger. Corey has 3 runs scored on the season. 0 for 1, flew out earlier in today's game. And she takes a ball just off the plate. Both Haley White and catcher Reagan Bristol wanted that call, but another strike called. 1-1 count now with a freshman catcher from Arizona. There's a called strike, 1-2 now. Big situation, base hit with 2 outs, could score 2. We'll see if Corey can deliver that for the Warriors, and there's a foul ball off just in front of the third base dugout. So there's a ground ball, and wow, Santana Anderson with a nice play. She recognized the spin on the ball, and instead of coming up and getting into foul territory, let it come to her. So that was a really nice defensive play there. Good presence. That's going to end the 4th inning of play. Warriors couldn't produce anything. We're going to head to the 5th inning here shortly. Still 0-0. And so far, both teams have 4 hits on the game and in the game, and that's about it, honestly. Not much beyond that. Haley White, pitcher for Limestone, has 2 strikeouts. Andy Wingate for the Warriors has 1 walk, no strikeouts. Jayla Adkins stands in. She's not an official bat yet. She does have a walk. Adkins hitting 143. He's played in 5 games so far. Ground ball just foul off third base. Sun trying to peek through the clouds. I'm going to go ahead and say it's partly cloudy. If you're an optimist, it's slightly sunny. But it is, for the rain is holding off. Wind picking up to about 5 to 6, blowing out right field. Joined in the press box, Gray Second and myself here with Ryan McCachran and Matt O'Banion. Matt O'Banion is on the PA music, and Ryan is in the production truck, as we like to say. We'll get his official title here in just a few minutes. There's a fly ball in the infield. Amy Copeland back about 5 yards deep in the outfield, and she records the out here. Carly Womack, center fielder, steps in. Carly 0 for 1, grounded out earlier today. She brings a .286 average into today's game. Second leading hitter for the Saints. Carly from Mount Holly, North Carolina. She is a senior, middle infield, outfield. And it's a ground ball back to Wingate, and she quickly retires Womack, who was hustling down the line.
Now at the bat, Katie Wilbur.
Second baseman Katie Wilbur, leadoff hitter for Limestone. That's one of the 4 hits for the Saints. If you're keeping score at home, Reagan Bristol, the catcher, has a couple of hits. And Madison Chappell, the third baseman, has the other one. 2 outs here in the 5th inning, and ground ball. Addison Johnson in the hole, fires across. And just like that, we are 1-2-3 once again. And just like that, we're going to take a few seconds, and we'll be back in the bottom of the 5th. Still scoreless. First up, Addie Johnson in the box for the Warriors, trying to get something started here in the scoreless 5th inning. Addie 0 for 1 with a walk. And a called strike here to start the 5th inning off. Appreciate those of you that have been interactive with us on the Slido.com website. And we are going to go with the 5th inning as the Bolton Photo 5th inning. We typically save that for a ground rule double or a bullpen call, but if you want to check out some pictures of the Warriors, he is not in attendance today, but he has been here earlier as Addie sends that one back up the box into the center field. Check out BoltonPhoto.com. That graphic should be lower half of your screen there. And you can see some really high-quality photos from the season opener. Get a chance to order some if you like. BoltonPhoto.com as Talissa Kennedy steps in. Talissa 1 for 2. Great opportunity for her to put one in the gap, get runners at second, third. She wanted that one, just held off, as we mentioned. Talissa from Abbeville, South Carolina, attended Abbeville High School there. And just down in the zone, so 2-0 count here for Talissa. Big swing there from Kennedy. Limestone looking to improve on their 2-4 record while the Warriors are looking to go a game above 500 here in game 1 of today's scheduled doubleheader.
When did they get 2 strikes?
She fouled off 2.
She fouled off that last one.
Who called those balls?
This is a high fly ball, center field. Carly Womack up and under to retire Kennedy.
Now to bat, Autumn Barnhart.
First baseman Autumn Barnhart steps in. She's 0 for 2. Drops her average just below 500. She does have 5 hits on the season and a team leading 3 doubles. Double would be nice right here. Fly ball to center field, and Addie Johnson actually running on the pitch has to retreat back to the bag, so.
Now to bat, A.G. Wingate.
A.G. Wingate, the pitcher, steps in. She's 0 for 2, a couple of ground outs. Couple outs, you'd think anything possibly in the outfield could get Addie over to third, potentially. Definitely in scoring position here. And she's off on the pitch, high throw, and she's in there safe. I believe she would have had that even with a good throw, so stolen base there for Addie Johnson. Now she is in scoring position, so with 2 outs, you would assume, unless it's a hard hit ball to the left fielder, she should be able to score. a ground ball back up to the pitcher. And Haley White retires, grabs the third out. So that's going to close us in the fifth. Warriors threatened but couldn't cross the plate. We're going to head to the sixth inning. We'll be in the sixth inning when we come back. Faith Callaway stands in. A.G. Wingate. Matt's got me going, or A.J. now. A.G. Wingate starting her sixth inning of work for Southern Wesleyan. AG's given up 4 hits, only 1 walk. It has definitely been a pitcher's duel, as we've mentioned. And Faith Callaway is 0 for 2. A couple of flyouts here. And another flyout, center fielder Madison Kiefer. And just like that, we have 1 out here in the top half of the 6th.
Out about Santana Anderson.
We have already experienced the extra inning rule and the season opener, actually, last week. With the international rule of putting the leadoff runner on second. We're still a couple of innings away from that potential. Top half of the 6th scoreless here at Varsity Field. Ground ball out to Addie Johnson, up and over. Addie with a nice glove, strong arm over there at shortstop.
Out the bat, Madison Chapel.
She is seemingly always in position to make the play. Retires the Saints' leading hitter in Santana Anderson. Madison Chapel, the third baseman, now steps in. Saints came in hitting .237 as a team. Warriors countered at .282. Warriors have 2 home runs. Saints have 1. But right now, neither offense able to muster up anything as both pitchers have been fairly dominant. I believe they've both given up 4 hits. Actually, Southern Wesleyan has 5 hits on the day now. Madison Chapel has 1 of the 4 hits for Limestone. And there's a ground ball. Nice play by Johnson. Throwing from her knees and just can't make the play. Barnhart can't come up with the throw, but a tremendous diving play there by Eddie Johnson. And throwing from her knees, and Barnhart just couldn't scoop it out. So it's going to be the 5th base hit for Limestone, I believe. So the 5th hit there for Limestone, 5 hits for Southern Wesleyan. That would have definitely been a great play. We're just talking about her glove and strong arm, and almost pulled off a nice one there. 2 outs here. Designated player Kaylee Long, who's making her first start, I do believe, of the season. And she takes that one off the plate. Long is 0 for 2. She was caught stealing earlier in the game. Addie Johnson also has a stolen base for the Warriors. Wind picking up a little bit. And there's another ground ball to Addie, and she tosses over to second just in time. Amy Copeland covering the bag there. So another scoreless half inning. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th. When we come back here at Varsity Field. And Emma Jo Wolf makes her way to the plate. Same walk-up song as last year, getting the home dugout pumped up here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Warriors looking for some runs. Be nice to pick up a couple of runs and hold them in the top half of the 7th and get a Thursday victory here in game 1. And there's a ball just off the corner of the plate, possibly high as well. Emma Jo 0 for 1 with a walk. Other at bat, she flew out. Ground ball out to the shortstop, behind her back, going to be safe. So a nice hustle down the line by Emma Jo Wolf. Shortstop Lindsey Voorhees had just a little bit of a hesitation. Ball kind of came off the heel of her glove. And by the time she recovered and made the throw across the diamond, Emma Jo was hustling in. Catcher Ryan Yarborough steps in. Ryan has a hit and a strikeout and 2 at-bats here. So we'll see the strategy from head coach Clay Ardeeser. Going to let her swing away, or there's a called strike, so 0-1 quickly. Warriors are 1-2 in the daylight, 1-0 when the lights are on. So trying to get a victory here in game 1 to even out that stat. That stat provided by Cat Butts of Clemson. There's a pop-up on the infield, and shortstop Lindsey Voorhees just on the outfield grass. takes care of Ryan, center fielder and graduate student Madison Kiefer. As we mentioned, Madison is a transfer from Columbia College. Picked up a degree there at Columbia College and working on her master's here at Southern Wesleyan. Moves up in the box a little bit, so we'll see if there's a hit and run, and there is, and it's going to keep them out of the double play. So you could tell she took a couple of steps up in the box just before the pitch, and Emma Jo Wolf was off on the pitch, or as quickly as you can leave the bag here in softball. So 2 outs now.
Now at the bat, Sarah Prater.
Pinch hitter for the Warriors in the form of Sarah Prater from Dallas, Georgia, East Paulding High School. And fans, if you were listening to the season opener, you remember what happened last time Sarah Prater pinch hit. Well, 3-run home run. A huge 3-run home run for her in the season opener, or opening day, rather. So we'll see. Just need a base hit to score Emma Jo here. And there's a ball on the inside part of the plate. Sarah comes in 1 for 4, so that one hit was a big one, 3 RBIs. This is the 4th game. Got to start earlier in the season. And there's a strike. Emma Jo with a good secondary lead at second base. 2 outs, counts even at 1. There's another called strike. Warriors taking a lot of called strikes here today. Head coach Clay Ardeezer works with the hitters. Mallory Ardeezer works with the pitchers, so Mallory obviously hoping AG can come into the top half of the 7th hold'em. Clay hoping Sarah can get a base hit or at least extend the inning in some form or fashion. Corey Rominger waits on deck. She is 0 for 2 with a ground out and a fly out. Prater stands back in, 2-2 count. And that one's just down. Full count here at Varsity Field. 2 outs, full count. We are scoreless in the bottom half of the 6th inning. Emma Jo Wolf, the go-ahead run, stands at second base. And Prater stays alive. Nice at bat here by Prater. And there's a pitch down in the zone that puts runners at first and second now. And we're going to have a pinch runner, a re-enter, it looks like.
Now at the bat, Corey Rominger.
So it looks like Emmy Copeland is going to come back in on the bases for Sarah Prater, who picked up the 2-out walk. So Emma Jo Wolf stands at second. Emmy Copeland at first after the walk to the pinch hitter Sarah Prater, and this brings up left fielder Corey Rominger. Corey's 0 for 2. The ground out and the fly out. A big swing and a miss there off first pitch she sees. Rominger has a couple of hits, 3 runs scored, 3rd hit, and potentially driving in her first RBI of the season would be nice right here for Southern Wesleyan. ball. That one caught me off guard a little bit. I thought it might have been a called strike, but just out of the zone. Outfield is straight up and a foul ball off to our right. Got a few obstacles up here in the press box. We're trying to check out the infield alignment here. Big hole up the middle. And that one's going to be foul just off the third baseline. Big pitch coming up, 1-2 count, 2 outs. Here in the 6th inning, scoreless game. And that one's out of the zone, 2-2 count now. Deuces are wild, 6th inning here, 2-2, 2 outs. And a break in the action as Reagan Bristol got some That's dirt in her eye. Action still going in the Limestone bullpen, and I believe that, as we mentioned earlier, that's Michaela Chiswick. I believe I'm pronouncing that last name right. And the 2-2. Ground ball just in front. And Haley White, as she has done a couple of innings before with 2 outs, runners in scoring position, gets the Warriors to ground out at the pitcher. So that's going to end us in 6. We're going to come back here for the Slido.com 7th inning. Stay with us.
Now at the bat, Reagan Bristol.
You're in the 7th inning here, and Reagan Bristol, the catcher, stands in at the top of the 7th. One-zero count here. Varsity Field, top of the 7th. Scoreless. Limestone, Southern Wesleyan. A.G. Wingate pitching a nice game here. There's a fly ball. Left center field, and Madison Kiefer over to grab the first out.
Now at the bat, Lindsay Voorhees.
Shortstop Lindsay Voorhees steps up to the plate. He's 0 for 2 today with a ground out, fly out, hitting around 200 on the season. Appeal to the first base umpire reveals a ball, so we're sitting at 1-0. Ground ball just through the wickets of Addie Johnson.
Now the bat, Jalen Atkins.
So Lindsey Voorhees reaches first base. Right fielder Jalen Adkins stands in. She's 0 for 1 with a walk. Other at bat was a fly out. Wingate deals, gets ahead with a strike, 0-1. We got a break in action. Looks like a pinch runner coming in for Limestone. I believe it might be Taylor Jenkins. We'll get a confirmation here. We'll see if that's number 3, Taylor Jenkins, here shortly. Pinch running for the shortstop. Ground ball back up the middle to center field, and
Now the bat, Carly Womack.
so a base hit up the middle. Looks like we've got another substitution, perhaps a pinch hitter coming in for Carly Womack. It's going to be Kerrigan Thornton. It's going to pinch hit for Womack. So Thornton is a senior from Gaffney, South Carolina. So she's a local product there near Limestone University. Pinch hitting here with 1 out. We don't have numbers on the front of the Limestone uniform, so struggling just a bit to find out for sure exactly who the runner on second is. We're going to go with Taylor Jenkins until we can get confirmation. Either way you look at it, we're 1 out, first and second. And a pitch down in the dirt. It's going to allow the runners to advance to second, third, so not only are they in scoring position, they're 90 feet away for Kerrigan Thornton. Kerrigan's hitting .500 on the season, 2 for 4 with a couple of RBIs. Nice block there by Yarborough. Another pitch in the dirt. We do have confirmation Taylor Jenkins is indeed the runner at third base now. And we are sitting at a 3-0 count with Kerrigan Thornton, the senior middle infielder, pinch hitting. AG with a long look in, and that pitch is just caught the upper half of the zone. So Wingate. Leadoff hitter Katie Wilbur is on deck, so Wilbur's hitting just around 120, so percentage-wise, ground ball to Addie Johnson. Play at the plate is safe. So Johnson got the 6-3 ground out to first base, but Taylor Jenkins, pretty good piece of base running there.
Katie Wilbur.
She timed the throw off of Addie Johnson just about as well as you can to score the go-ahead run here in the top half of the 7th inning. So Limestone does have 1 run. As second baseman, the leadoff hitter, Katie Wilbur, stands in with the Saints standing at third base 90 feet away. Again, we were mentioning Taylor Jenkins, a nice piece of base running. You could tell she was timing up Addie's throw, and Addie has a strong arm across the diamond, but Barnhart did her best to receive and make a throw to the plate, but Jenkins was just a little too fast, and that one's just over the outstretched glove of Johnson. It's going to score the Saints' second run, and that's going to be a stand-up double for Katie Wilbur. So what's been a pitcher's duel up until the top half of the 7th, Limestone's got a couple big hits here.
Now, back Faith Calloway.
Now they're up 2-0. Left fielder Faith Calloway. She now bats here in the 7th inning. 2-0 Limestone. Nice play there by Yarborough. Wingate looks in for the sign here. Ground ball up the middle, and that's going to score Limestone's third run here in the top half of the 7th. And Callaway is going to hustle in with a double.
Now up to bat, Santana Anderson.
And this brings up Limestone's heavy hitter, Santana Anderson. She came in hitting .476 with home run and 6 RBIs, and we're going to have a pitching change. It looks like Emma Jo Wolf is going to come in to relieve A.G. Wingate here in the top half of the 7th with a couple of outs. So we're going to take a couple of minutes, give Emma Jo a chance to get loose. We'll be back here shortly. Welcome back, Warrior fans. Back into the top of the 7th inning. 3-0 Limestone. They broke it open here. We were scoreless going into the top half. We're 2 outs. Runner in scoring position at second base for Limestone. And the former Faith Callaway and Santana Anderson, Limestone's leading hitter at .476. She's 0 for 3 today with a couple of ground outs and a fly out. So A.G. Wingate, who has just been relieved in the circle by Emma Jo Wolf. Emma Jo comes in making her third appearance on the season, 3.38 ERA. Just shy, just a smidgen above 5 innings pitched. Anderson looks in with a 1-1 count and a big swing and a miss. That was a healthy cut right there. Nice swing from Santana. 1-2, 2 outs. We'll see if Emma Jo can get us out of this situation. Warriors can come back. And they got the work cut out for them in the bottom half of the 7th inning. That one gets away from Yarborough, and Faith Calloway advances 90 feet. She's now 90 feet from potentially scoring the Saints' 4th run. Limestone University, as we mentioned, 2-4. Warriors are 500, 2-2. Looking to break that 500 clip. There's a high pop, big league pop on the infield, and A.G. Wingate makes the play in and around the runner at third base for the 3rd out. Limestone picks up 3. We're going scoreless up into the top of the 7th. They busted open with 3 here in the top half. We'll take a break, see if the Warriors can come back and counter. We'll be back in 48 seconds. Fans, we're back here at Varsity Field, bottom half of the 7th inning, 3-0 Limestone. They just picked up 3 in the top half of the 7th. And Haley White is still out there on the mound for Limestone. She's gone 6 innings, only allowed 6 hits, walked 3, struck out 2. And no better way than the top of the lineup for the Warriors here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Addie Johnson 1 for 2 with a walk and a stolen base. There's a ground ball back up the middle. So Addie Johnson with a great start at the bottom of the 7th here for Southern Wesleyan. Addie's 2nd hit of the day. She's 2 for 3. Pushes her batting average up above 200. And here's Talissa Kennedy. Talissa 1 for 3. 1 ground out, fly out. So Kennedy stands in, hitting just under 500 on the year, 1 for 3 today. Warriors need base runners right now. We're still down 3, running on first. Haley White, as we mentioned, is going the distance for Limestone. No more action in the bullpen. And there's a strike on the outer half. There's a pitch on the outer half, rather outside. 2-1 now, or 3-1. Need a couple more base runners here for the Warriors. Down 3. Final at bat. And there's a ball low, and all of a sudden, we were moving quite along through 6 innings, and now we have a lot of offensive production on behalf of both teams, and Limestone's going to come out and make a visit to the circle. We'll take about 45 seconds. We'll be back soon. Autumn Barnhart, the first baseman, now in the box for Southern Wesleyan. She's 0 for 3 today. Still in the 400 clip or the batting average. Takes a called strike. Not a bad philosophy here, needing base runners. Force the pitcher to beat you. Pop up, straight up in the chute, and pitcher Haley White makes the play for the first out here in the bottom of the 7th inning. This brings up the starting pitcher, A.G. Wingate. She was relieved after 6 2/3 innings. Moved over to third base, so now the third baseman, A.G. Wingate, steps in. A.G. has a home run, 4 RBIs on the season. She's 0 for 3 today. She'll take a called strike. Agrees with that pitch. And back in the box here. Michaela Chiswick, not necessarily in the bullpen, but she's off on the side of the Limestone dugout, staying warm. And that's going to be a pitch off the plate. Brings it to a 1-1 count, 1 out. Big fly could tie it up. Base hit could put the tying run, the go-ahead run, the winning run at the plate. And we're now 1-2. And there's a fly ball deep left field, and that's going to tie the ball game up. So just like we were seeking for a big fly, we got one off the bat of A.G. Wingate. So a huge bomb to tie the game here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. So now we'll start back over. We are tied once again. Folks, we went 6 innings with a scoreless tie. Limestone picked up 3 in the top half of the 7th. Big swing off the bat of A.G. Wingate, her second home run of the season. RBI 5, 6, and 7. Ties us up here. And now we'll see if Emma Jo Wolf can't make things happen for us. So we're definitely playing 8. We'll see if we can finish it right here. There's a ground ball, and Haley White reaches over, picks it up, fields it, throws her out, and Warriors down to the last out. However, big swing from A.G. Wingate ties us up. And catcher Ryan Yarborough steps in. She has a hit along with a strikeout and a flyout today. She jumps ahead 1-0. Coach Ardeezer, prior to the winter break, was talking about A.G. Wingate being a big pickup for them. Highly recruited out of high school. Took some time off and not rusty at all at the plate. One of the more visible things you've noticed about the Warriors this year is their tenacity. They definitely do not give up. Will fight to the last out, just like they have here in the bottom half of the 7th. And Yarborough draws a walk, so she is the potentially winning run, and it looks like we're going to have a pitching change. We're going to take a break. We'll get everything settled. We'll be back here in 1 minute. Center fielder Madison Kiefer steps in with 2 outs. Jalen Montfort pinch running, and that one just gets out of play. So Jalen Montfort, one of the 4 USC Sakahatchee recruits, pinch runs at first base with 2 outs. So we'll see if center fielder Madison Kiefer can keep things rolling along. There's a swing and a miss. That's going to be a pass ball. It's going to get by, and Jalen Montfort's going to make her way down to second base. Some good foreshadowing there on behalf of the production truck that had Montfort at second. This inning, production truck sponsored by ESPN here in the press box, and there's a pitch just out of the zone. So Montfort in scoring position with 2 outs. We are 2 outs, 2 balls, 2 strikes. So we are affectionately at Deuces Wild here. And Madison Kiefer with a chance to be the hero. And that pitch is going to be down in the dirt, full count. You would think, unless it's an extremely hard hit ball to left field with 2 outs, Jalen Montfort will be rounding third, heading to home. And the pitch, nice swing off the bat of Madison Kiefer, fouled back. Home dugout is erupting in chatter. Full count, 2 outs. Runner at second base in the form of Jalen Montfort. Madison Kiefer, swing and a miss. Ball up out of the zone. But the Warriors pick up 3 here in the bottom half of the 7th with a huge swing off the bat of A.G. Wingate. We are tied. We're heading to the 8th. We'll have a runner at second base when we start back here in about 45 seconds. Welcome back to Varsity Field. International rule here. Santana Anderson will start at second base for the Limestone Saints. And third baseman Madison Chappell stands in at 2 for 3 for Limestone as well. Infield is still the same for the Warriors, as is the outfield. If you're just joining us in perhaps anticipation of Game 2 starting, we've had a heck of a Game 1 so far. We went 6 scoreless innings. Limestone scored 3 in the top half of the 7th, had all the momentum in the world in their dugout. Southern Wesleyan gets a couple of runners on in the bottom half of the 2nd. A.G. Wingate hits a big fly, and here we are in the top of the 8th, tied 3-3, 2-0 count. Bunt attempt. Santana gets hung out halfway between second and third, but Emmy Copeland was making her way toward first base on the bunt coverage, so unable to get back in time. I believe that was a called strike, so we're looking at 2-1 count. As the home team, you always got to like your chances in softball and extra innings if you hold the visiting team scoreless in the top half. A lot of pressure on the visiting team in the bottom half with a runner starting the inning at second. 2-2 count, no outs here. Emma Jo Wolf back in the circle, was in relief in the 7th inning of A.G. Wingate. Getting her sign from the home dugout. And there's a fly ball. It's going to be foul. Pitch just down in the zone, pushes it to a full count. And there's a tomahawk ball down the left field line. That's going to score Anderson from second. Good play in left field by Corey Rominger. Keeps Madison Chapel at bay at first base. Designated player Kaylee Long stands in. She's 0 for 3. Caught stealing back early in the game. Attendance here starting to pick up as we expected with classes coming to an end. Ground ball. Addie Johnson up and over in the hole. Has to go the short way. Ball goes into right field. Kennedy backing it up, but not before Madison Chapel can advance to third base. So tough break there for the Warriors.
Now at the bat, Reagan Bristol.
Kaylee Long stands at first. Madison Chapel over at third base. So Limestone once again has runners at the corners. And looks like we're going to have a pinch runner for Kaylee Long at first base. We'll try to get that number here momentarily. Catcher Reagan Bristol in the box for Limestone here with no outs. We'll get the pinch runner as soon as we can. I believe it's going to be Mickey Davis. From Inwood, West Virginia. Going to be Davis's third appearance. So a lot of pinch hitters and pinch runners here in the last inning and a half for both teams. Pitching changes, fly ball to left field. That's going to be a foul ball and out of play. So the top of the 8th is very similar to the top of the 7th. Limestone's had some base runners, scored a run. Warriors are once again to have the work cut out for them in the bottom half. 4-3 Limestone. Ooh, nice changeup by Emma Jo Wolf. That one had everybody in the park swinging 3 or 4 times. Nice pitch from Wolf. Very effective pitch. She needs to add that to her repertoire. A.G. Wingate up and over. Retires Bristol, and this brings up shortstop Lindsey Voorhees.
Now at the bat, Lindsey Voorhees.
Runners at second and third. There's a pitch going to be fouled off. Back behind the Limestone dugout. We're back to partly cloudy skies. The wind is not a factor. It is blowing out slightly to right field, but as we talked about earlier, the rain is held off, and we're hoping to hold off. Might hit us the latter part of game 2, but we're approaching the 4 o'clock hour, so 2 hours into this game. Here in the 8th inning. And a 1-1 count, 1 out. Nice pitch. Down in the zone. Wolf pushes it to a 1-2 count. Voorhees takes the 1-2 pitch. Another changeup. Nice pitch by Wolf. Voorhees was just a tad ahead of that. The all speed was good. The location not the best there. Voorhees was able to keep her bat through the zone just long enough to foul it off. Good all-speed pitch is going to help the hitters or keep the hitters from the good timing, but it's also going to help that fastball look to have a little more velocity. 2-2 with 1 out. And there's a called strike. Nice pitch by Emma Jo Wolf. Produces the second out. Jalen Atkins, the right fielder, at the plate for Limestone with 2 outs. And they do have a couple runners in scoring position. Right fielder Atkins stands in. Ground ball. A.G. Wingate couldn't handle that one. And second run of the inning, 5th run of the game for Limestone. Crosses the plate. Center fielder Carly Womack
Now batting, Carly Womack.
steps into the box. Womack's 0 for 2. A couple of ground outs. First and third again, 5-3. Eighth inning with a couple of outs. And Wolf gets ahead 0-1.
Step forward too much and I miss it.
Fly ball. Johnson back. Rominger in, and Rominger calls Johnson off for the third out. So Warriors have their work cut out for them, and they entered the bottom of the seventh down 3, tied it. Now they enter the bottom of the eighth down 2. We'll see what they've got when we come back.
Down to bat, Emmy Copeland.
Welcome back to Varsity Field. And the Warriors needing 2 runs to tie this game. 3 to take it to the clubhouse and get ready for game 2. Emmy Copeland stands in as the leadoff hitter with Madison Kiefer on second base with the International League rule for extra innings. There's a ball now, 1-2, no outs.
We sent him out a week in advance, and I sent the last time out like 5 days in advance. Oh, I haven't looked at him yet. People condition us.
Kiefer in scoring position, as we mentioned. And Michaela Chiswick, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. We don't have a pronunciation guide from Limestone, but I believe it's Chiswick. She is, as we mentioned earlier, making her third appearance. She's 0-1 with a 1.62 ERA. Limestone came into this game with a team 1.59 ERA. Which is very impressive. Left fielder Corey Rominger bats now with 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th inning. She falls down in the count, 0-1. So Limestone with some serious pitching credentials, especially to have 4 losses on the season. We need to look up See who they played, and there's a line drive into left field. That's going to put runners at the corners. Down by 2, no need to take a chance there with a runner getting thrown out at home plate. So 1 out, Addie Johnson, the leadoff hitter, who actually got it started in the 7th inning. So with Rominger on first base, we'll see how Coach Ardeser plays this. You'd love to get her in scoring position where a base hit could tie the game up again. Johnson, couple of hits, a run scored, and a walk. Addie pushes that to 2-0. Pitch up in the zone there. 2-1 count now, 1 out. There's a line drive to the left fielder. Hard hit ball, but unfortunately for Johnson and the Warriors, right at left fielder, Faith Calloway. We're at 2 outs, runners at first and third, and now everything lies with the bat of Talissa Kennedy. Had an opportunity to watch Talissa for 3 games now. She can definitely tie this, or actually win this game with a swing. We'll see what happens. Late strike call there, but Kennedy falls to 0-1. One and one, another big fly would shut this one down and send the Warriors to the 3rd victory of the season. Kennedy can't reach. Limestone will pick up their 3rd win. And we'll see what happens in game 2. Pitch down in the dirt. Called strike for Kennedy. And just like that, we are deuces wild. 2 strikes, 2 balls, 2 outs. And a ground ball just in front of the 3rd baseman. She picks it up and calls her safe. So Kennedy hustling down the line, scores a run for the Warriors and puts runners back at first and third. 3rd baseman Madison Chappell fielded a slow ground ball just off the plate, and Kennedy hustled down and keeps the game alive for the Warriors. Now we're first and third, 5-4. And looking for big things off the bat of Autumn Barnhart. Swing and a miss. Barnhart is 0 for 4 today, but she did bring a 500 batting average into today's game. So she has 5 hits, 3 doubles. That 4th double could win the game here. Swing and a miss. Quickly down 0-2. Chiswick takes a walk to the back of the circle. Barnhart steps out. She's back in. Warriors down to their last strike. Tying run 90 feet away. And we'll let the game play out. That's some pinball action in the first base dugout as foul ball rattles around. We'll get set. Try it again here. Kennedy takes second base, so that's a big advance. A base hit could now win the game for the Warriors. Limestone was conceding that, so Barnhart down to her last strike. Warriors down to their last out. And the pitch just off the plate. That was a close pitch. Everyone in the Limestone dugout and fan section wanted that one. We're back to Deuces Wild, 2-2, 2 outs. And there's a just foul. My apologies there for the excitement. I broke the cardinal rule of broadcasting, yelling into the microphone instead of letting the play elevate my voice at the proper decibel. Barnhart back in. We are 2-2, 2 outs, 5-4. Fly ball to center field and makes the catch. Does Carly Womack just shy of the center field wall. Valiant effort by the Warriors, down by 3 in the 7th. Came back to tie it off of a big swing by A.G. Wingate. Put it at 7-7. 8th inning, top of the 8th. Limestone scored a couple of runs. Warriors fought back within 1. Unfortunately, they dropped game 1 here in exciting fashion to the Limestone Saints, 5-4. We're going to take about 30 minutes, and we'll be back for game 2 of today's scheduled doubleheader. Game 2, sponsored by Slido.com.